Hello internet, it's Olivierr and welcome to the third time me filming this video because I'm taking too long, it's half an hour. So let's try and keep it under 10 minutes. So I've written this thing and we're gonna try and breeze through it. So this is part 3 of the 7-part introduction to different types of painting and sketching. And obviously today is sketching. So starting with the equipment, what we have are different options. So we've got a marker pen, which is not going to be used today. We got ink pen, and also biros are a very good option, but I don't have any here today, which is annoying, but that's how it is. And I've actually started sketching graph ages ago with biros and I absolutely love them, but I will explain more about that in a minute. What I want to focus more this lesson about is, actually we're not going to talk about this at all. So that's going to speed things up. So you can sketch with biros and I might do another video in the future. So we're going to focus on pencils. So the different types of pencils you have are, so you can have like a builder's pencil, which is a lot thicker. The lead is thicker, so it's stronger and sturdier. And even though this one's HB, normally they're like a 2H or something. Now you got these that you've probably used at school, college, whatever. They are pretty cool, they're really light, but they do wear out fairly quickly. And then you got my favorite, which are the mechanical pencils. So, man, I've already saved quite a lot of time from the previous video. Okay, so just to talk about the pencil leads, because you got different options. In most cases, you're going to use a HB. That's what you're going to be. That's what's most available in shops and whatever. Most things comes in HB. So what is HB? That's the hardness and the tone, the color of the lead graphite. You know, it's a mix. So, excuse me. HB will give you something that is kind of light, and the lead is going to be fairly hard. So it's not going to snap too easily. But it's not going to give you something super dark, super, you know, it's kind of in between everything. So on this side you've got B, on this side you've got H. H I think stands for hardness and B for bold or something like that. So I like to sketch with a B lead or a 2B lead. I find they're really good because it allows me to, so this is, problem is these I've realized they're not true HB. This one is a true HB. So if I do a fade, so I press hard and then I start pressing less and less. That's how you do a fade. You start hard, you press quite a bit and then you press less and less. So this is HB. Just to compare it with a B. I mean, I think I've got 2B in there. I've got a thing in the back to write what thing I'm putting, but I keep, you know, it turns by itself. Whatever. And that's 2B. As you can see, it's a lot darker. It's not so much these values, but it's more these, the darkest it can go. Because if I barely touch the paper, I can still get to really small, really light values. So, although you can buy a box of, you know, 10 or 12 different pencils, different thingy, I've never really done that, I think. Or even if I did, it never really worked for me. I like to have one, so that's why I like to choose one value that's going to work well. You know, ideally, yes, I could use maybe a H or HB and then a 2B and maybe a 4B. But I'd rather have just one pencil to sketch with. So that's why I use a 2B lead. Another thing as well is about the tips. You can see that's how you buy them most of the time. So I bought, I think 10 or 12 of those, they're all the same, all HB. And the tip is, I mean, I have used this and I've done this video 3 times and it's getting more and more blunt. But when you buy them, they are kind of like this, compared to something that you will sharpen yourself. But for this, you'll need a sharp knife. Obviously, be careful if you use a knife. What you do is you just want to... Actually, let me start with this. So when you get something blunt like this, you want to start quite far back, about this much. So you take like a big chunk, another big chunk, and you take like 4 or 5 big chunks like that, and take some more. So the more the lead is the more lead you have exposed, the more it's going to get weak and it's going to break. Hence why they use much thicker leads. And then once you got that, then you just run it quickly and you barely press. Like that. And you focus on the tip, so then the tip gets really sharp. It depends how you can be bothered. I mean, sometimes I just go bam, 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 that'll do. But when you're sketching, you want it to be, you want the tip to be very, very sharp and precise, and that's just A, very satisfying, and B, allows you to paint, to sketch neater, more accurate. And it's all over the place. Anyway, so as you can see with this, I can sketch a lot better because I can see exactly what I'm doing. You can see, even on camera, you can see the point and you can see all the light through, because the tip is so elongated, you know, it allows me a lot of control. It's really nice. I like it like this. Most people do, so give that a try and see if it works for you. But these are kind of different. So the lead is a lot thinner, so it's very easy to snap it if you press too hard. And so now that I've started the lead again, what I'm starting with is a cylinder. So this is not lipstick, it's my pencil, like a big view of the pencil. And this is how I keep the point. So I either have this flat bevel here, or I can use the tip. So if I use the tip, that's for like details, but other than that, everything else I do, I use this part. So whenever I start sketching, what I do is I create a bevel, and I want the lead, so I want this part, I want the lead to be well away from the first metal cylinder, because I don't want this back bit to rub on the paper. So I want to extend this just a touch, but if you go too far, then obviously as you press, bing, you keep snapping them. So once I've created a bevel, now I'm going to draw everything with that bevel, and when I need to, I just spin the pencil slightly, and then I've got a sharp point. But I don't want to start blending with that, because otherwise I'll get loads of jagged edge and I'll dig in the paper. If I need to rub it out, you'll see those grooves, so I don't want that. So keeping the bevel, and we're good. Okay, so these are the two things that I use the most often, like a regular pencil and this, and also a biro if that's all I have. When I'm taking the plane, I've made a habit. These are my favorites, the Mitsubishi pens. Brilliant. They're brilliant for writing, but they're not brilliant, and they're good for sketching too. But it doesn't allow you any construction lines. So that's a construction line. That's a hard line. As you can see, they're the same darkness. It's just as dark as one another. As opposed to one of those, you can do all your construction lines and then go after and make everything proper. And then the construction lines, you can see them, but they don't really interfere so much. Yeah, when you're on the plane with those, they bleed all over the place. And I had a Posca, also made by Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi, please give me a call and sponsor me. Those are really cool. They're obviously, as a mural artist, they're a must. They're amazing. They come in different thicknesses. But I had a brand new one on the plane, and I did one dab to get the paint going, and the whole thing just went. It was paint on the seat, paint everywhere. Oops. So whenever you're traveling, if you like biros as opposed to pencils, pens as opposed to pencils, grab some biro, not some ink. It's better. Okay, so I just thought in this lesson, obviously I don't have a lot of time because I can't make this video too long, attention span and all that, but at the same time I do want to cover the most important things. So when I started sketching, I wanted to run before I could crawl, which is basically how I live my entire life, really. So I just thought, we could do the portraits with the blah, 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 and maybe I'll do that in another video. But for this one, let's do something cool that, that's interesting to draw. We don't want to start doing, a flower and all that rubbish. We've done that at school. Let's, kick things up a bit. We're going to start with the volumes. So we're going to do a box. For that, we'll start with a square. So this is like whenever you see a technical drawing, that's what they do. So they do a 30-degree angle. Oh, look at this sharp point. I'm so far away. It's so good. So each of the line you want to extend as a volume, you do as a 30-degree angle. So if you want a square, you just cut it off there, nice and simple. I'll probably end up doing this video again, so it doesn't matter so much. Okay, I guess we're going to talk about the shading as well. So you've got this 30-degree angle thing, so you can have if you go a circle, that's more a sphere. Never mind, if you go a cylinder, so if you go ellipse, and another ellipse, join them together, that's going to be a cylinder. What else? Let's take the lipstick thing, I like that. So I'll show you the differences between a vanishing point or escaping point and a regular volume. So say you look at a building. Yeah, actually let's do a building. So this is a building, if you live in New York, side view, frontal view. So if you do it as with a 30-degree angle to see a bit of volume, what you'd see is something like this. Well, you would never see this. Your eyes don't see in 30 degrees. But if you were to look at an architect's plan, why can't I do this properly, man? If I'm not filming, no problem. As soon as I'm filming, pencil is like meh. Okay, so this is a bit better. Alright, so that's 30-degree angle view. But as you're sketching, and as you get more comfortable with it, you'll want to do things realistically. So that's when the vanishing point comes into play. So the vanishing point, which is how we see. So if you look at trees, for example, so I'll do a tree. It's very simple. Looks like a broccoli. Okay, so we've got a tree there. And then if I was to do one exactly the same size, same height, everything, and duplicate it, if I was to do a 30-degree thing, obviously they're exactly the same. But as we see in real life, we see with a vanishing point, which means every line that you see is going to go towards the same point. So if it helps you, and it did when I started, let's move this a bit. I used to put a point, so I know that this is where it's going to go. So I've got this, so that's for the base. The middle will go here, to the top of the tree will go here. So the next tree, I'm going to do the same. And do the mushroom bit. Then do another one. Then another one. As you can see, they're getting smaller and smaller. So in real life, they're the same size, exactly the same size. But the way you see them is skewed and smaller and smaller. And as you can see, that gives you the idea of depth. And this is what you want to do for the building that we're doing. So say I've got a point about here. Oops. So your building is now more realistic. It's more like how you see it, as opposed to this line here being 30-degree angle. There's a, it's more skewed, and this one's the same as opposed to being 30 degrees here. It's more skewed. So you realize it's actually a lot easier than people think when you sketch in 3D, and you sort of need that before you start having, if you like me and you like painting portraits and people and stuff, it is good to get a grasp on the fundamentals, because when you're going to start I don't know, drawing a nose or something, you want to if you I just woke up, I felt like sketching, but I was like, what, let's do a video. So that's why if I'm not really with it, that's how it is. So that's a pretty nose, not like my big nose. Nah, I do like my big nose. Alright, so before you can do a nose, like that, whatever, for example, you need to grasp this. It's going to make it a lot easier, because you can see, I see that this is here, this is here, this is here. I can see the construction lines and I can see the volumes. I can also see, the nose is in this volume, and there's a rectangle in there. You see in 3D, but before you start doing all of this and the veins in the nose and so on, you want to sort of grasp the fundamentals of how it is, whether it's a square, a cylinder, whatever. So it will help you this way. So now that you grasp this, what you want to do is add a second vanishing point. So taking the building, running out of space, let's go here. So taking the building example again. So if I've got two vanishing points, which is an example that's often used in books. So I got one here and one here. Am I in the frame? Yes. So I could have a side view of the building. So this goes towards this. I'm gonna cut it this way. Okay, this way. And that's my building. Can have a shadow on one side. I might do a tutorial about shadows, but that's gonna be, it might even be a multiple parts thing, because it's pretty full on. So that's what you can also have. You can have two escaping points. Don't really think you can have more than two. Don't know. But anyway, this is what you want to start with. I'm guessing this is how I started with. So if you like the way I paint, start like me. But I also, because I've been doing it for a while, all the unnecessary things I've learned and wasted time, I don't want to tell people that, just go straight to it. It's like when you're doing a face, they'll say you do an egg, you cut it off, that's the eyes and whatever, which in most cases is rubbish, because unless the person is looking like with the head down sort of thing, that's never the case, ever. Like the eyes are always like up here, because you look up, you don't look like that anyway. So you should always take some and leave some whenever you're learning something, even from me, from anybody, because some things apply to certain artists and some don't. So that's where I'm gonna leave this. I hope this has been useful to you. This was number 3 of a 7-part series on how to paint and draw. with different techniques that I use and know and all that. And I just thought, since we're all in lockdown, might as well make it interesting. Thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to subscribe, like, and who really shares a video? Don't know. But yeah, if you want to put a like and a comment, it helps the algorithm push it up and it helps my videos. Don't want any money from you. I just want a little like and a little comment. That'd be awesome. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. There are some videos coming in a couple of days, and it's going to be about caricatures, and it's going to be, for me, very, very important, and it should look pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. All the details will be on my Instagram account if you want to check it out. It is the same handle for everything. It's Olivierr Creates. Yep. Olivierr Creates. And it's all on the website. Shameless plugging. Olivierr.com. Cool. Thanks a lot for watching. See you later.